was told by someone who absolutely knows what's going on. All right, there's no doubt about it that he knows what's happening with Ben Simmons and the Sixers. And I was told, here's the news, that Ben Simmons is willing to go play anywhere for any of the other 29 teams except for the Philadelphia 76ers. All right, there was a report out a few weeks ago that he wanted to go to one of the California winners, the Lakers, the Clippers, or the Warriors. I'm told that was never true. He wants to go anywhere. So the teams that are out there, Minnesota, Toronto, those are the names of the teams that are really engaged with serious talks with Philadelphia. I'm told Ben Simmons would go there. That's how much he wants out of Philadelphia. All right, so the problems in Philly have been long. They happened before Doc Rivers and Daryl Morey even got there. There's just a feeling that they haven't used Ben properly, haven't developed him properly. And, of course, last year, the comments after the Hawks series from Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid didn't help. And there's a feeling that Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are not a good fit. Because Embiid, obviously, the best low-post player in the league. Simmons, while he can push it in transition greatly, in the half-court set, he needs to be near the basket. So that's why there's not the fit with Embiid, because Simmons can't shoot. So they just won out. And the question is, what is Philly going to do? I think this could get really ugly for them at the beginning of training camp if they don't do it. So I'm thinking right now, Damian Lillard, Nick, doesn't seem to – he's not going to force his way out just yet. And I don't think he's as high on him in Philly as the rest of us are. I think he's higher on New York in the East than he is on Philly because he's not that keen on going to somebody else's team. Bradley Beal doesn't seem like Washington wants to trade him. So I think, Nick, you're looking at C.J. McCollum, who, he's not been an all-star ever in the West. I think in the East he'd have made an all-star game or two. All right, the last 2 years he's averaged 26 and 7 when Dame Lillard is not there. He's a better fit with Embiid than Simmons is. That's not a horrible move to get C.J. McCollum there.
I think if Portland is involved in the trade, it's because Dame demands out, but that's not happening on the timeline that we now see that Ben Simmons has. If Bradley Beal was going to happen, it'd have happened. It's an easy trade, 1-for-1, Simmons for Beal. So I trust Broussard's reporting implicitly. So if he really will accept to trade 29 teams, I'm not going to go through all 29. There are two trades within the East that I think make a ton of sense, but we know won't happen. I know this won't happen, but as someone who has shorted the stock of the Nets and been right, I'm telling you right now, Ben for Kyrie, if personalities weren't a thing, basketball-wise, makes so much sense for Brooklyn, makes them a overwhelming favorite in the East. Overwhelming. And maybe an overwhelming favorite overall, but that's not happening because of the relationships. I think Wilds, if I were Brad Stevens, I would really consider Ben for Jalen. But the Celtics aren't trading Jalen. We have to live in the reality of the world, right? So then there are 4 teams that I think if I'm Daryl Morey and Portland is Dame's not asking and Washington's we're not trading Beal. There's 4 teams I would call because I do not want to get down to the level of Pascal Siakam and stuff. I would call Denver. Say, can we build something around Michael Porter Jr., where he is the centerpiece of the trade? Michael Porter Jr., amazing shot, super high upside. Ben would, I think, fit on that team, could help them massively defensively. I think that's something I would consider for both sides. I don't know that Philly wants to do this, but I would call Dallas and say, what would you give us in addition to Kristaps? If you can get what Kristaps was supposed to be, that pairing with Embiid could be very interesting. Two guys both taller than 7 feet. So you fix the spacing issues because Kristaps loves being out on the perimeter. Go ahead, Wilds.
So then just about on the Dallas thing, who's bringing the ball up? You're going to take the ball out of Luka's hands now and give Ben the ball most of the time?
I'm letting Ben, if we're in transition, go. And otherwise, if I'm Dallas, I'm putting Ben at essentially the dunker spot. And having Luka, he's going to help us because Dallas has a huge problem defensively. And is the fit perfect from the Dallas perspective? No. But I think they look at Kristaps as a sunk cost at this point. Kristaps doesn't like Luka. He was just, alone in the corner in the playoff game. The other two teams, if I were Daryl, I'd call Golden State back up and say, I know you turned down the trade earlier of Wiggins plus Wiseman and the two guys you just drafted. Can we talk about that again? And the last one is Sacramento, because I think Ben for De'Aaron Fox is interesting. Ben would get his own team. De'Aaron Fox, pretty damn good player, man. Now, I know I'm partial to him because
I like De'Aaron Fox.
He used to
Sacramento
kick my
do that?
son's head in AAU ball in high school, and I watched him just be dominant. I think that fits. It helps Philly with the pacing. And by the way, if you're Philly, you have kind of drafted De'Aaron Fox's position. You drafted Halliburton. You just drafted Mitchell. So you could lose him and be, I'm sorry, if you're Sacramento, I should say, and be okay. Those are the four teams, Wilds. If the whole league is, our playground here, those are the four teams, if Portland and Washington are off the board, that I'm calling if I'm Daryl.
All right, so Broussard, I'm going to focus on two teams. I'm going to throw Sacramento out because of the original reporting. When it came out that said Ben wanted to go to one of the three California teams. And poor Sacramento's like, geez, guys, I know we're not a great team, but we are actually in California. It's like a geographical distance to us.
California.
In the state.
Oh, it's brutal. Okay, I know there's an idea they're going to secede. Oh, Northern California, 51 states. Okay, Broussard, out of those teams that Nick listed, if I'm Ben Simmons, I either want to go to Golden State or I want to go to Portland because I am looking for two things. I want good leadership, which we know Chauncey has, and we know what the Warriors have between Kerr, Steph, Draymond, Clay. We know there's great leaders all over there. And because I want to get better. As a player, I want to get better. When Ben signed his extension, he said, I look forward to growing with this team, being in Philadelphia. I want to get better. And none of it's true. He may want to be there, but he didn't get better, and he's not going to be there any longer. So I think Chauncey, as a point guard with a defensive mindset, could take Ben to a new level. I think the CJ deal would be nice, and I think Dame and Ben would be really interesting. Portland's had the same bad defense for a decade, and they're always like, why do we keep on getting bounced? Oh, yeah, defense. The Golden State thing, if it could work, I think it would just be magical. With Draymond and Ben, when Warriors were great, they were already the number one defense. You add Ben there, Draymond could, I hope that some of Draymond's edge would sort of rub off on Ben, would be nice. Two clutch guys, little clutch family, that'd be nice. So those are the two teams that I would like. Where would you like to see Ben end up?
I like Portland for all the reasons you said. I love Golden State, but I think I'm more with the side of Golden State's front office that questions whether or not Simmons and Draymond are a fit. Now, if you play them together, you've got two non-shooters on the floor. I understand. You got Clay and Steph, who are great shooters. Wiggins is okay, all right, but I would rather send Draymond. I love him. He's a key part of that dynasty. But I'd rather trade Draymond for Simmons. I think Simmons is a younger, better version of Draymond at this point and does all the things he can do except take the shot. Draymond doesn't make them often, but at least he'll take them. So I like that. I don't think Philly would take back Draymond as the main piece. Nick, I want to go back to what you said. I actually am with you on that Nets deal. Look, you're right. The personalities, Kyrie and Durant are great friends, but Kyrie is injury prone too. And obviously, mentally, sometimes he just goes here and there.
And you don't need more scoring.
I don't hate that at all. Right. I don't hate that at all. It's such a perfect fit for Philly.
It's a great fit for Philly and for Brooklyn. It's exactly what you need. Harden can be your full-time point guard. Ben can help you so much on defense. Ben can be your small ball center with Durant playing the four. That, as a guy that wants the Lakers to win the title, that's the trade that if it happened, I would be devastated. If Philly was able, if
Philly's
Brooklyn was
close
able,
to Jersey too.
yeah,
It's close enough
that's
to home,
true.
at least
As
for
far as
Kyrie.
Kyrie being, yeah, but I just think